and welcome to Average Glow. My name is Holly, and I am so excited you're listening today because I am going to talk about something very exciting to me. Now, most of my past episodes have been a little bit of talking about hardships and overcoming those things, and I do feel like that's a really large part of this show. But what I ultimately want to help my viewers with is glowing and overcoming obstacles and becoming brand new versions of themselves. And so today we are going to talk about something that is only uplifting. I want you to leave this podcast feeling invigorated, inspired, passionate, ready to go and to live a new life. And today we are talking about reinventing your life. Now, specifically, we're talking about reinventing our lives at any age. I do not want you to think, if you're listening, that like you missed the boat and it's too late. I'm not reinventing my life. It's too late. The ship's passed. This is what it is. I felt the same way. I'm 35, and this past year, since becoming 35, I have fully flipped the script on what I've ever known to be. And I did not grow up with a lot of big, lofty goals, big dreams. Some people have dreams as a child of, I love working with animals. I want to become a vet one day. And then they graduate high school and they take the steps to complete the schooling to become a vet. And that's wonderful. I just was never one of those kids that had this big dream idea of what I wanted my life to look like. And honestly, I have lived every day, year by year, just kind of seeing what life throws at me. And this last year, I decided to take control of my life, and I have reinvented what I'm doing. I'm here right now recording a podcast. This is extremely out of not only my comfort zone, but my forecast of anything I ever thought would be possible for my life. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I got here and help you, hopefully by the end of this episode, feel inspired to do the exact same thing. So let's get into it. So this all started actually only a handful of months ago, around my birthday, which is in the beginning of August. So August 2025, I kind of looked at my life and thought, what are we doing? I want something different. I want to be better. I'm always kind of working on self-improvement and just being a better person, but I've never actually taken the steps to become that better version of myself. I've just been like, always be nice, always be generous, be kind. And then it hit me around my birthday when I turned 35, like, all right, we got to do something different. I want my whole life to change. I've been waiting for my life to change since a lot was taken away from me. If you've listened to past episodes, you understand what I'm talking about. And it just wasn't happening. Nothing was new. Nothing was going on. And it hit me like, oh, I guess I should probably take some steps to doing that. And I did not know where to start. And many of you maybe do not know where to start. I hope by the end of this episode, you feel like you have a good guiding path. And I will talk about this in many more episodes, I'm sure. This is something I'm extremely passionate about, is just this brand new renewal process of, like, the word I've been using is up-leveling. I am up-leveling my life. I started at what I believe is to be average, and I am up-leveling the heck out of my life. And so I want you to do the same, and this is what I did. I started with, and I have like a timeline of all of this happening, which is nice that I kind of took notes for myself for you guys, but the first thing I did was that I made a vision board. Now, this is commonly thrown around. I know this isn't like a brand new concept. And if you don't know what a vision board is, I'm planning to get into it a little bit later in the episode, so just bear with me. But I created a vision board. And then after I created a vision board, I actually stumbled upon a podcast, another self-help podcast that I started listening to. And the first day I listened to it, something really resonated with me. And it kind of clicked in my brain like, whoa, I've opened up this realm of thought, of conscious thought, of a thought I've never had before. And it made me like really brainstorm and think and dive into my own thought process throughout the rest of the day. And I just felt like, whoa, that was kind of inspiring and like invigorating. And the next day I was like, well, I want to listen to more of the podcast, and just found other episodes that applied to my scenario. And from there I realized, oh, I can actually really like learn from this. It's like reading a book, and I'm just not a good reader. And so a podcast and listening, I'm an audio learner, and I found like this is what's going to help. And so I started listening to a podcast. I was taking avid notes. You know me, I'm a note taker through and through. And it started helping me just kind of each day get a little bit more in tune with my thought process and have more ideas, fresh ideas, things I've never thought of before. I was like, oh, I came up with this new goal for this. And I started writing it down and working on manifesting, and we'll get into that in another episode as well. Manifesting, I've just been learning all about that and actually applying it to my life. I've known what it is, of course, but always kind of just use it as a joke. And now I'm like, no, it's so serious. Like I need it. I take manifesting very seriously now. And then one day I had an idea of what's something I want to do for work. I wasn't passionate about the current scenario I was in, and I started praying about it. And the idea of this podcast came to my head while I was in prayer, which was really meaningful to me. And, I finished my prayer. I wrote down that, whoa, should I start a podcast? And then I made a note in my phone of, these are all the things I could talk about. These are all the things I've been through recently, or even throughout my whole life, or things that I talk about daily to people that I would like to inspire, or friends of mine who come to me for advice. Seeing this list grow within just a few minutes of typing out all of these ideas, I was like, wow, that's like half a year's worth of content right there. I came up with literally 25 episode ideas and was like, wow, I could really do this. And that's exciting. And I was like, just like pumped the rest of the day. And so I took a day or two to think about it, and it still felt exciting. I mean, it felt terrifying, if I'm being totally honest. I didn't just immediately decide, okay, let's do it. Like, easy enough. I can totally do this. I kind of went into shell shock of, I don't know. That's too big of a dream. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. And kind of went into a little bit of a internal cave, if you will. I was like a turtle hiding in its shell. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. It's not like I could just go back to the drawing board and pray again and say, okay, that's too scary of a goal. Like, what other career should I do? What's the real one? It's like, no, that was the one he put in my head because he put me through the life experiences he did for a reason. And it's for me to talk to you guys out here listening to help you go through it. And so, it took about a month to really come to fruition and decide, all right, I really should work on this. And so when I finally built up my confidence to work on it, I actually had the idea to ask ChatGPT for a 90-day plan and put me on a schedule. I want a checklist. I want to knock it out. What does it take to start a podcast? I didn't even know. I was just generally having some ideas here and there. I'd come up with the name. I'd come up with some of the concepts. And like I said, all of those podcast episode titles. But I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I asked for a list. And sure enough, I got a list of here's what you're going to accomplish every week. And this is what's going to keep you on track. 90 days, you'll be ready to post your first episode. And I thought that was really helpful. And so the reason I'm telling you that is because if you're already out here with a huge dream and maybe you just don't know where to start, that's a really great avenue to get you going. So I got this 90-day plan and was really excited at first. It kind of eased me into it, where the first 2 weeks were pretty simple things I could do and accomplish. It was like, okay, hey, just come up with a name. Well, I'd already come up with a name. Good. Check. Boom. Built my confidence. Like, we're doing it. So I did do the first 2 weeks in 2 days. I was very proud of that. But, then the checklist gets harder and becomes more real. And so I took my time. It didn't have to be 90 days. There was no true deadline. And I knew that. And I gave myself that grace to feel it. I would check in with myself each day. Am I feeling up to working on something today? Nope, I'm not. I'm scared. Okay. Hey, let's not work on it. All good. Next day. Are we up for working on it today? Yeah, actually, I had a few ideas. Here, let me just jot them down. Great. Made some headway. We're going step by step here. Next day. Are we feeling up to it? Yes, I'm ready. My brain's firing on all cylinders. I have this idea. I have that idea. I have this. And so you just have to take it at your own pace. I definitely did that. I don't know that I really met a 90-day goal, but I did at least have a path of how to get there. So it's important to remember, what is meant for us won't come with resistance, but it will come with hard work. So some days you're going to feel really at ease and ready to work on this if it is something really meant for you. And some days you're just going to feel like a little scared or kind of revert back to your old ways. This took me months of working on myself, up-leveling, shifting my self-concept, working on my confidence, and kind of building my life and establishing some goals in my life, some bigger goals. So it's a new process for me. I kind of always took the lazy route. And so some days I'm going to kind of revert back to that. And that's okay. I do give myself a lot of grace, but you do also need to push yourself. And so if it is something you're passionate about, taking baby steps is okay. It's okay to feel that way. One step at a time, literally 1 foot at a time, 1 day at a time. Because if it is a really big, lofty goal, it's going to feel like you're climbing the steepest of mountains. And one day you're going to look back and realize you're there and be like, oh, that was actually not that bad. Our brains do have a way of forgetting the hard parts, but it is going to happen. And if it is something you're passionate about, it will come easy because it will be fun and it will be a project you're wanting to work on. And so I want to get into how to help you have a big goal and how to get that goal. I want to help you, like I said, reinvent your life at any age. I want you to go from, this is the path I've been going on, but let's make a turn. Let's make it way better. That's what we're here for. So I sprinkled in some ideas throughout what I said with my process, but I have even more ideas for you on how to maybe come up with the big lofty goal of the new life you want. You probably, like me, are at the point where you're just having the idea you want to change. You aren't sure what that change is. Like I said, God came to me and told me what my change was going to be after a few months of really working on myself. And so you're probably not there yet. If you are already there, amazing. Some of these tips are going to help you also. So let's get into this together. One of the tips, like I already mentioned, is coming up with a self-help podcast. Now, if you're listening to me, hello, this is a self-help podcast. This is one to help you, inspire you, and work on yourself and better yourself, kind of understand your own mind and your mindset better. And so you're already in the right place. You already have some of the first steps down. I mentioned this in probably every episode, but take notes. This is what's going to remind you of what you've learned while you're listening. It's something you can always revert back to rather than having to recall which episode at what timestamp I said something that inspired you. Write it down. Write everything down that you feel is helpful or could be helpful in the future. The next idea is to spend time by yourself. This one's really important. I have been spending a lot of time outside of spending time with my daughter, time alone. Just me, no friends, no family, no boy chasing lately. I've been putting dating on pause to just really focus on myself. And it's really important that we learn to love spending time with ourselves, especially if you're a single woman right now. It is so important to love yourself before you let another one in to love you. Because one of the things that I've learned in my up-leveling journey is the right man is going to meet me where I'm at. And I'm currently feeling, or I was when I started feeling, that I'm not where I want to be. I want to grow. I want to succeed and be the best version of myself. And so if I start dating right now and I'm here, a man's going to meet me where I'm at, which is here. I don't want that. I want him up here. And so I realized, I need to be deserving of a man that's up there. And the right man will meet me where I'm at. So I'm climbing and I'm climbing and I'm climbing, and I still feel like I'm part of that climbing process. That's why I'm not putting myself out there to other men. And by doing that, I've discovered, I actually kind of love being by myself. I have been boy crazy my whole entire life, and the last 6 months have been focused on myself, honestly be a little selfish in that, and say no to plans, don't go out and try to meet new people. And actually, I love it. I've become a little bit of a homebody in a way, but it's good for me. I love spending time with myself. I think I'm the coolest person out there, and that's what you need to believe about yourself too before you can really start building this dream life of yours. So the point I'm trying to make is spend time alone, get to know yourself, get reacquainted, if you will. Date yourself, do whatever it takes to pour into yourself. Part of that is taking care of yourself physically, but what this up-leveling journey has showed me is it's really about taking care of myself mentally and loving myself, like I said, building self-concept, building confidence, and all of that has come to spending time alone. What do I enjoy doing? What are my favorite hobbies? What do I like watching on TV, or what movies do I like? It's not based on anybody else's opinions. It's my own opinion. What do I want to eat? What do I want to do when I'm feeling bored or have extra time? Which, as a single mom, is rare, but it does happen. So anyway, spend time alone, love yourself, and to take it a step further, not only spend time with yourself, but travel by yourself. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love to travel alone. The first trip I ever took alone by myself, I was 25. I live in Arizona, so I traveled all the way to Nashville. by myself. I rented a car and spent 10 days driving through Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and back over to Tennessee to drop that rental car off, fly home. It was the most just inspiring trip. It had a roller coaster of emotions the entire time. Very scared, very lonely, very excited, very independent, very unsure of what's going on here. And it makes you dive a lot deeper into yourself. It shows you how independent you can be, but it also helps you be humble in asking strangers for help if you need, because you're in a place you don't know. And you learn how to navigate through a place you don't know. And throwing yourself into a completely different physical place, mental place, spiritual place helps you kind of maybe see from a different angle or a different lens of where your life wants to be or where you want to go. Maybe you decide you want to move to that place. Amazing. Start your life over. Reinvent everything you've ever known. Or it makes you realize a different place you'd want to try and go to. Or it makes you realize you love traveling and traveling is what you want to do. So now you want to build a career that supports your schedule to travel more. You just never know. And getting yourself out of a daily routine and breaking some kind of daily habits is really beneficial to figuring out how you want to pivot your life into something new. And so what I'll get into next is another example of that. I think you should break some habits that you're into daily. So maybe your daily routine looks like this. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you feed your dog, walk your dog, and then you go to Starbucks on your way to work. Okay, great. Obviously that's working for you. Let's try to switch it up. So you wake up, instead of just brushing your teeth, you also implement a skincare routine. That is like just a quick spray, quick moisturizer, a little under eye something, and move on with your day. Sounds easy enough. Or maybe it is that you take your dog on a walk, take a different path. Maybe you'll see something new that will kind of trigger a new idea in your brain, and maybe it's a little bit longer. Great. Now you're walking a little bit longer. You went on this new fun adventure with your dog. Perfect. All right, you go to Starbucks every morning. What if you tried a different spot that's local and you order something off the menu you've never heard of before and you love it or you hate it? Either way, it's just going to switch up kind of what you know about your life to be true. You want to venture out into brand new ideas you've never thought of before. Maybe you like your routine and everything seems to be working just fine. I was the same way. I was very happy with everything I was doing, but I didn't realize I was like settling for some things. One example I'll give, which is the silliest thing ever, but my friend and I joke about it all the time, is I was complaining to her, yeah, I don't really cook much because all the recipes feed a family of 4. My daughter's pretty picky, so I have all these leftovers after and they just go bad in the fridge. Okay. She goes, oh, well, why don't you just package it and freeze it? Then you'll have it kind of for weeks to come and you won't have to meal prep as much. And I was like, oh my God. Yes, of course. Like, of course. But I never had that thought. And so it's so funny. It's like what we settle for in our just mundane daily life. There's so many better ideas out there. And since trying to work on myself and up leveling, all these like new little ideas have sparked, and I've just been making tiny little changes in my life that have accumulated and have gotten me to where I am. And so I just really suggest that you break out of your routines and kind of take a look at yourself and realize not everything I do is perfect, and I want it to be better. So let's see if this makes it better and try that new thing. Another idea as you start working on yourself and reinventing yourself is changing up your wardrobe. This suggestion is going to be a little bit more on the pricey side. Obviously, there's some cheap options out there, but I had this idea to change my color palette. I always wore kind of not standout-ish clothing. Blacks, whites, muted colors. And I saw this dress that was a bunch of different jewel tones, like ruby, sapphire, emerald. And I just decided those are kind of cute colors on me, or I'm drawn to those colors in this moment. I've never thought about those colors in my life. And so to kind of get some new tops and switch it up, look a little different, and getting brighter colors rather than what I was wearing with the muted tones has helped me feel a little bit more confident in myself. It's maybe drawn more attention to me in a good way of like, oh, you look so nice today, because it's just different. I'm not blending in with the crowd anymore. I'm trying to stand out a little bit. It's just helped me kind of reform my identity and how I am perceived by the world. And that was just kind of a fun change. That one didn't come right away, and I don't even suggest that you start pouring money into buying new clothes. I mean, everyone's looking for an excuse to shop, and that's, if you were looking for it, here it is. But try to budget your money well and don't take my word for that. But yeah, splurge a little. Just try to get some statement pieces that you can wear here and there that help you change how you're perceived. And as promised, the last thing I'm going to get into, which is also our average glow tip of the week, is vision boards. So let's dive into it. I told you earlier in the episode I would get around to it. I did not forget. Here we are. So I suggest making a vision board. And if you aren't sure of what a vision board is, it is a visual representation of what you want your life to become. So it is pictures of how you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. So it can be something very general and of just, I want to travel more. So maybe you include a picture of a plane, to something very specific. Maybe you have a specific goal in mind. Like, for instance, once this idea came to me about wanting to start a podcast, I put a picture of a recording microphone and headphones like the ones I have right now. Other things on my vision board, I have a picture of a mother and a daughter, with the daughter being significantly older, but it's just of the back of them. All you can see is that they have really long brown hair. My daughter and I have brown hair, and so it was just a visual representation of, I want our bond to grow stronger. I want to be such a wonderful mother to my daughter, and that's where I see myself in however many years. I mean, ultimately, the rest of her life, right? But I also have on my board that I want to get married eventually, and I'm not putting a timeline on that. I know it to be true in my future. And this board is meant to symbolize growth, symbolize direction, give you an idea of where you want to be. And then the reason it's a physical board, you print out pictures, is so that when you look at it, your subconscious kind of takes it in and believes it to be true over time. Slowly but surely, the more you look at it, I'm looking at it right now, that's why I keep looking over, sorry. The more you look at it, the more it kind of bleeds into your system and becomes what you want. And the more you think about it and look into it, the more you become inspired to work towards those goals. Some of them are going to be pretty lofty, which is great, but you're going to take different steps to get those goals. And it's important to have just a visual outline of where you're going so that you have direction in your life and you can take ownership of that. Okay, so how do you make a vision board? So the easiest way to start is to go on Pinterest. If you've never explored Pinterest, your life's about to change. Love Pinterest, but you go on Pinterest and you can either type in vision board ideas and some will stream up already created for you if you feel like it's a good vibe and that's kind of what you're looking for. It'll either give you an outline or you can use that one. But what I did is, for the specific different dimensions of what I was wanting on my board, I searched for that thing specifically, looked through all of the pictures that popped up and saved those pictures to my phone. Then I sent a batch of those pictures to my local Walgreens, CVS, whatever pharmacy or drugstore that prints photos, and then printed one of each of them. I did print them in different sizes to kind of help vary my board a little bit, that you can kind of mess around with, but it's really cheap. I think it was maybe 40 cents a photo, maybe less, I can't remember, but it didn't cost that much, maybe under $10 to print all the pictures I wanted. And then I got a big styrofoam board and I taped everything to it in different order to make it kind of all look like a nice flow. And then on top of that, to add some dimension, I went to the store and bought some patches to just kind of add a little bit of a pop here and there, like a cute bow. Let's see what else I have. I have a smiley face, symbolizing I want to be happy. I have a pray patch to, of course, strengthen my relationship with God. And this is something that I look at all the time. It's where I record this podcast, clearly, if I'm looking at it. But it's something that I see daily. And again, I'm just letting my subconscious breathe it in and take it in. And hopefully all of that will in turn explode out. And so on top of that, like I said, if you do get on Pinterest and you search just vision board ideas, you can copy a lot of people's vision boards. And my next suggestion is huge, and that's to make a digital representation of your vision board. I've done this as well. So you can either get on Canva and take all the pictures you've already saved to your phone and make them in a collage of some way and make it a digital copy to add to your phone background. Or you can just copy someone's board on Pinterest already. If it's your vibe, if it's got most of the things you want, save that to your phone and change that to your phone background. And the reason I suggest this is, like I said, you're subconsciously taking it in every time you see it. And my physical copy is something that I need to walk by and look at. But we are opening our phone constantly, 200 times a day. And without even realizing it, every time you look at your time, every time you open it to look at your notifications, you're seeing whatever that picture is that's there. And maybe you have a nice picture of yourself or a loved one, which is lovely. I love having a picture of my daughter, of course. I'm obsessed with her. But when you change it to be part of your vision board, then you're subconsciously letting it in and you're absorbing it. And it's just a really good expression of where you're going, where you want to be, and I just think it will be really helpful. So I hope this episode helped you. In order to reinvent yourself, you have to take chances. You have to be scared sometimes. You have to be excited sometimes as well. And we need to break out of your old lazy habits of that. You need to shed that old version of yourself, put it away. You're not using it anymore. Everything you've learned about yourself and grown with, and that's become a part of you, is great to bring into the new life, but we are kicking all the negativity out and we are reinventing. We are starting over. It is fresh. It is time. Whatever it is that you've ever desired, it is yours. It's already yours. You just have to go after it. You have to come up with that idea and take those steps towards it, and you will get there. There is no doubt in my mind that you can accomplish anything you want. We tell this to children for a reason, but it is not too late for you. You can do the same thing. You can be anything you ever want to be, and I hope you do. I hope to hear about it. I would love if you commented and told me what your ideas and your passions and dreams are of maybe your goals. I would love to talk to you about it, dive in. Maybe we can get some more brainstorming going on how to get there. I just really appreciate you listening. I hope this helped. I can't wait to keep recording episodes for you guys. I just really appreciate the support, and I've really been enjoying myself doing this, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. And so with that, I will see you next week. Bye-bye.